Pretty challenging question at the grocery store you might have been asked a few years ago. However, since then, you're now annoyed by the cashier asking, do you want to buy a paper bag for 10 cents? Until you realize you left your reusable bags at home. Now, this is all due to California Proposition 67, which prohibits grocery and retail stores from providing single-use or either plastic or paper bags at point of sale. However, it does permit the sale of paper bags and reusable bags to customers at a cost of 10 cents per bag. So this might seem super fine and dandy since we are pushing away from plastic and moving on to paper bags. However, there's a substantial amount of evidence that claims that plastic bags are actually more environmentally friendly than paper bags. However, this policy shows that paper bags are actually better, and when you buy a 10-cent bag, you're actually promoting the paper bag production or consumption. So Proposition 67 should be further reviewed because it supports the purchase of a bag made of materials that are more harmful to the environment, which is paper. And it's also questionable how significant the improvements in marine wildlife and wildlife in general have been made since the new policy has come about in 2016. I first want to talk about why plastic bags are actually more environmentally friendly than paper through all aspects of their life cycle. Then I want to talk to you about why Prop 67 passed and what could have been done instead. Since plastic bags have so many more benefits over paper, policy should be reconsidered to managing plastic bags and managing the behavior of using them rather than just banning them completely. And finally, I'd like to discuss some things that you guys could do to socially discourage the policy and even boycott it. Contrary to popular belief, plastic bags are much more environmentally friendly than paper bags in many aspects. And the four aspects I'll be including today are resource use, manufacturing, the reusability of the bags, and the solid waste of the bags. The Canadian Statistics Industry Association found in 2012 that paper bags are much more resource intensive than plastic, consuming larger amounts of energy and water. And this point can be illustrated right here in this picture above, and it's basically a life cycle analysis from EcoBiolin in 2004, and it just goes to show that paper uses 2 times more energy, non-renewable energy, than plastic bags, and 4 to 7 times more water, which ultimately leads to a larger carbon footprint, leading to even higher amounts of climate change, like we talked about in my last speech. The Scottish government's 2005 report on plastic shopping bags found the manufacturing of paper bags produces 3 times more greenhouse gases than plastic bags. And in terms of reusability, we've all gone to the grocery store and headed to the car or to the house with a full load of paper bags, and either like a bag tore on the side, or the handles just completely came off, and everything just fell to the ground. Paper bags tear really easily and are not waterproof at all. Whereas plastic bags are much more durable and reusable for many more functions. So much so, it was praised for its invention and even won a Nobel Prize. And since reusability is crucial in sustainability, it would be best to use materials where we can get the most uses out of it, especially if the production of it is greener also. The 2011 life cycle analysis of plastic bags by the United Kingdom Environmental Agency identified a reusal rate of plastic bags at 40%, which is pretty substantially high compared to other bags. And paper bags are also much more wasteful than plastic bags, considering that a vast majority of them are landfilled and not actually recycled, even though they are considered recyclable. AllAboutBags.com released an article in 2012 that stated that the most significant and immediate impact from a switch of plastic bags to paper bags was the additional volume that paper adds to the waste stream. So again, I kind of have an environmental impact report that kind of compares plastic bags compared to paper bags that were made out of recycled content. And as you can see, the life cycle analysis in 2008 shows that there's actually 4.8 times more solid waste in paper than in plastic. So looking at the many different aspects of the life of plastic versus paper bags, plastic outweighs paper in every single aspect. So you guys might be wondering by now, why did they even put this policy in California in the first place? Well, plastic bags are a major concern for our wildlife and are also a major concern for our oceans, which is why the policy was first emphasized and tried out in California and especially reinforced in coastal areas. A study from 2015 from Science magazine estimated that humanity dumps 10.4 billion pounds of plastic into the ocean every year. However, in my research, Reason Foundation found in 2014 that lightweight plastic bags constitute less than 1% of all visible litter, less than 1% of municipal solid waste, and are not a major cause of blocked storm drains. So since plastic bags are such a small contributor to litter, the policy should be reviewed rather towards the management of plastic bags rather than the ban of them. This policy also supports the production of paper bags, which tampers the economy, along with employment opportunities in the plastic industry. So instead, we should focus our efforts on the behavior rather than blame the type of bag that we use. Because, for instance, being able to know how to dispose of things is a lot more helpful than just them not being there at all. If people don't know how to throw away plastic bags or other things, they're probably just going to improperly get rid of other materials too, other different types of plastic. So it's best to switch to a management and educational type of strategy rather than limiting our options on the types of bags. It's also helpful to put a stronger and larger emphasis on reducing, reusing, and recycling with plastic bags, since they are better for the environment in terms of the production line. Now, you may be wondering, what can you do to make a difference, and what bag should I choose next time I go to the grocery store? Well, I laid out a pretty short list of very realistic things you could do to make sure you support this claim, and the first one is to not support reusable, or is to not forget your reusable bags at home, because this will make sure that you aren't paying the 10 cents and supporting paper bag consumption, which is worse than plastic. And next time you guys are out of town or out of state and you can choose the difference between paper and plastic, choose plastic because you will get a lot more uses out of it and it is more environmentally friendly in terms of the production compared to paper. And lastly, you want to protect the marine life and mitigate your impact on the environment, so don't litter and make sure you use your plastic bags responsibly. So, next time you guys are all asked if you want to buy a 10-cent bag at the grocery store, I hope you're all knowledgeable enough to bring your own bag and just use that instead.